U.S. Attorney Alex Costa. He allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the death?
Yeah, sure. If I could
I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
Yes. Yes. We are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein. And if that bothers you, good. It should. Because the fact that this name still makes people uncomfortable means the rot hasn't been cleaned out. You don't get to decide when the conversation ends. You don't get to shut the door just because it's inconvenient, or it drags too many powerful names into the light. That's the whole point. Trump had the audacity to ask, asterisk, are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Asterisk. Like it's some tired topic. Like we're supposed to move on. Like it's just another news cycle. Number. You don't get to joke about a man who ran a global sex trafficking ring, who had deep ties with some of the most powerful people in the world, and expect silence. That's not how this works. That's not how truth works. The FBI lied to us. Flat out lied. They protected identities, destroyed evidence, and spun narratives. And what did Trump do? He let it slide. He had 4 years. 4 years with the full power of the federal government. 4 years with the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA under his thumb. He could have opened the vault. He could have blown this thing wide open. He didn't. Why not? Don't pretend this is about politics. Don't pretend this is about red versus blue. This is about complicity. This is about silence. This is about the people who had every opportunity to go nuclear on the blackmail ring that Epstein ran and chose not to. Trump stood on the debate stage and talked tough about law and order. But when it came to Epstein, he folded. He vanished. And now Elon Musk, of all people, is the one rattling the cage. You can hate him, you can mock him, but he's asking the questions we're not supposed to ask. Why did Gates fly on that plane? Why was JP Morgan laundering Epstein's money? Why were so many tech billionaires and royalty and politicians circling this guy like flies? Musk poked the bear. And he did it knowing that bear bites back. So where's Trump? Where's the fire? Where's the outrage? He talks about draining the swamp. Epstein was the swamp. He was the epicenter of it. If you're not furious about what Epstein did, if you're not demanding answers about his client list, you're not draining anything. You're just painting the swamp red and calling it a win. And let's talk about the media. The same media that played footsie with Trump for ratings, then turned around and buried every Epstein angle they could. You think it's a coincidence that the cameras looked the other way? You think it's random that the biggest scandal of our lifetime got less coverage than celebrity divorces? They protected him. They protected his clients. And the government helped. Still talking about Epstein? Hell yes. We're talking about him until every name is revealed. Until every flight log is unsealed. Until every prosecutor stops pretending this case is closed. Until every politician who took money from Epstein's network is exposed. You don't get to memory hole this. You don't get to bury it under a presidential campaign. Trump could have gone scorched earth. He could have lit the whole thing up. Instead, he made jokes. He shrugged. He played coy. He said he knew Epstein, that they had a falling out. That's not enough. You don't get to brush off a sex trafficker like he was an annoying neighbor. If you were serious about justice, you would have kicked every door open, no matter who was behind it. And let's not forget, Epstein didn't act alone. He couldn't have. You don't run an international trafficking ring without help, without protection, without leverage. This wasn't just rich men behaving badly. This was organized, industrial-scale corruption. And every time someone says, let's move on, they're helping to keep it hidden. Musk is asking why the client list hasn't been released. You should be asking too. Everyone should. That list is the key. It's the roadmap. It's the truth they're terrified of. Because once it's out, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle. Names will fall. Institutions will crumble. And that's exactly why they're stalling. So when Trump says, Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? What he's really saying is, I don't want to talk about it anymore, asterisk. And that's not good enough. Not from someone who claims to be the enemy of the elite. Not from someone who pretends to fight for the forgotten man. Because if you're not fighting this, you're not fighting for anyone. You're covering for them. It's not just about Epstein. It's about all the people who let him operate. It's about the people he blackmailed. It's about the institutions that turned a blind eye. It's about the billions of dollars and the layers of protection. It's about the system, and Trump had a chance to break it. He didn't. He walked away. We're not forgetting. We're not letting this go. You don't get to move on from child rape and trafficking. You don't get to make jokes and change the subject. You don't get to pretend the monster was the only problem when the castle that protected him still stands. Still talking about Epstein? Damn right. We'll talk about him until every survivor sees justice, until every enabler faces consequences, until every coward who stayed silent is dragged into the light. You asked the wrong question, Mr. Trump, because we're not stopping. We're just getting started.